Ultimate. Some call it Ultimate Frisbee, others call it Frisbee football, but the true name for this fast-growing flying disc sport is just Ultimate. Ultimate is a team sport played with a flying disc. The sport's unique in that players are responsible for making their own calls and working out all disputed calls with each other. In order for this to work, players must respect each other and the calls that they make. This respect is referred to as spirit of the game.
Spirit of the game, to me, is what holds the whole game together, because without spirit of the game, I don't think this game would be controlled by players anymore, and then it would lose its whole charm for me, and I think for a lot of the players out there.
Spirit of the game and self-officiating are part of the sport at all levels, up to and including national and world championships.
Spirit of the game, I think at the lower levels, is a little bit more of a helping each other learn the game, teaching people the game, a little more accepting, getting to know the rules kind of thing. And at the higher levels, I think it's more of a respecting your opponent as a person and them respecting you and taking the responsibility upon yourself to know the rules and to play by them and to play fair.
So what is it about Ultimate that makes it such a great sport to play? At all levels, there are men's, women's, and co-ed teams. Ultimate's cheap. All you need to play is a disc, a field, and 8 cones. Ultimate is highly cardiovascular and is a great way to stay in shape. Gameplay and skills are easy to learn. And of course, Ultimate is exciting and fun to play.
You should play Ultimate because it's an amazing experience and you'll never forget it. And you'll most likely play for the rest of your life or until you're really old and can't run anymore. And it's just amazing. That's all I can say.
I'd never played any sports before. I had done like band and stuff, but nothing competitive. And I love the competitive side of it and the physicality of it. So I got hooked, and the traveling and the people are great. It's a great community to get into. There's really great people from very diverse backgrounds.
So now that we've given you an overview of the sport, let's talk about how to play. Ultimate is played 7-on-7 on a field that's 120 yards long and 40 yards wide. The end zones are 25 yards long. Cones are used to line unmarked fields. Points start with both teams on their own goal lines. The team starting on defense throws the disc downfield. This is called the pull. The receiving team can either catch the pull or let it land and pick it up. The team with possession of the disc tries to move the disc downfield by throwing it to other players on their team. Players with a disc can't run with it. When a pass isn't completed, whether it's dropped, blocked, intercepted, or just goes out of bounds, it's a turnover, and the defense takes possession of the disc. If a player catches the disc in the end zone that she's attacking, her team scores 1 point. Games are typically played to 15 points, but can be adjusted to fit the length of time that you have. Substitutions may be made in between points or in the case of an injury. Substitutions may not be made during play. As we go through the basic skills of Ultimate, we'll also talk about the violations and fouls that may arise and how to resolve them. There are 2 main throws that are used in Ultimate: the forehand and the backhand. The motion of throwing a disc is very different than throwing a ball. When you throw a disc, you'll always be stepping with a foot on the same side of your body as your throwing hand. You may already be familiar with the backhand. We'll start first with the backhand grip. Grip the disc as if you're shaking someone's hand. Drop the last joint of your index finger off the edge of the rim. Your thumb should be placed on the flight rings. Your grip should be firm, but not tight. When throwing the backhand, keep your eye on the receiver. Step across your body with the same foot as your throwing hand. Release the disc flat. Pretend that you're trying to balance a glass of water on it. Snap your wrist to put spin on the disc. Be sure to follow through in the same plane as your throw.
Learning how to throw a forehand or a backhand perfectly to somebody is just an amazing thing. After you've been practicing for so long, you just finally get it. It just kind of hooks you, and once you finally see play happen and everything unfold, it's just captivating.
Keep your eye on the receiver. Step across the body with the same foot as your throwing hand. Release the disc flat. Put a lot of spin on the disc. Follow through. The forehand is a necessary throw in Ultimate. In the same way that a basketball player needs to be able to dribble with both hands, an Ultimate player needs to be able to throw from both sides of the body. While it may look difficult, the forehand is often easier to master than the backhand. The grip for the forehand is different than the backhand grip. Put your middle and index fingers together and press them against the bottom of the disc with your middle finger next to the inside rim of the disc. Place your ring and pinky fingers together outside the disc with your ring finger pressing against the outside rim of the disc for stability. Place your thumb on the flight rings with your palm facing up. When throwing the forehand, stay facing your receiver. Step out with the foot on the same side as your throwing hand. Keep your palm facing upward to release the disc flat. Put a lot of spin on the disc. The motion should be similar to flicking something icky off your finger.